Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got explaining the greatest college football game of all time. Let's check this out by my boy Just Jalen. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel for more lit football content. Let's see.
And again, Stroud drops it in, stiff arm, all the way to the end zone.
The Rose Bowl is the most prestigious bowl game in college football history.
Facts.
It has earned the nickname the granddaddy of them all. It has been host to some of the best college football games of all time. This including the 2006 Rose Bowl, which is regarded as one of the best games, if not the most exciting and best college football game of all time. This Rose Bowl is a matchup between number 1 USC and number 2 Texas. Before we take a look at this game, let's see how we got here.
Okay.
The USC Trojans this season was just coming off an 11-0 campaign the previous season, and USC was on the verge of being.
Oh shit, is that Pete Carroll?
In 2002, they went 11-2
Troy
and won the
Polamalu?
Orange Bowl. In 2003, they went 12-1 and won the Rose Bowl. In 2004, they won the Orange Bowl, won 11-0, and ranked number 1 in the AP poll. Of course,
Okay.
this team was led by one of the most amazing players in college football history, and that being Reggie Bush.
Reggie
The second running
Bush.
back on that team was Lindell White, and I don't know if many people know this, but in 2004, the previous season to the 05 season, Lindell White led USC in rushing yards.
Oh, word?
And this was one of the most perfect running back duos in college football, as you have Reggie Bush, who's a good 3-down back. He could run, he could pass catch, and you had Lindell White, who was a bigger back and could take on physical contact. Under center, they had 2004 Heisman Trophy winner Matt Leinart, who also won
I heard about him.
Offensive Player of the Year back-to-back years. On the outside, Matt Leinart had weapons Dwayne Jarrett and Steve Smith. No,
Steve
not
Smith.
that Steve Smith.
Oh.
We talking about the Steve Smith that
I got so fucking hyped.
is Dwayne Jarrett and Steve Smith. No, not that Steve Smith. We talking about the Steve Smith that used to play for the Giants. And
Oh,
Dwayne
okay.
Jarrett was clearly the best receiver on this court.
I was about to
On the
say.
defensive line, they had guys like Frosty Rucker and Lawrence Jackson.
Okay.
Then you had true freshman Cedric Ellis on the defensive line as well, who was third this season in tackles for loss on this team. The linebacker core was made of guys like Oscar Lua, Thomas Williams, and Colin Ashton. Another fun fact, they had true freshman Clay Matthews on the team.
Damn.
He played in 8 games.
Clay Matthews. What y'all know about Green Bay Packers?
Playing 8
Clay
games.
Matthews,
Another
nigga.
true freshman that made
It
more
was a
impact
dog.
at linebacker than Clay Matthews was Brian Cushing. He played in 8 games as well.
Oh, Brian
but he had
Cushing
better
too.
stats than Clay
Damn,
Matthews.
they had a deadly linebacker
Darnell
duo.
Bing and Josh Pinkert were the leaders for the DBs on this defense. This defense only allowed 22 points per game, while the offense scored 49 points per game.
Okay.
Now we move on to Texas, where of course their best player and most important and impactful player was Vince Young. And
Yes,
he might have been
sirski.
the only guy in college football at this time that you could have said was better than
The
Reggie Bush.
original,
Behind him at running back, you had Jamal Charles and
you know what I'm
Lamar
saying,
Taylor.
dual
On the
threat
outside,
quarterback.
Vince Young was throwing to Billy Pittman, David Thomas, and Lamar Swede. Jonathan Scott was the only player on this Texas offensive line that made it to the NFL. The defensive line for Texas was led by Frank Oakham, Brian Robinson, Roger Q. Wright, and Tim Crowder. The starting linebackers was Aaron Harris, Robert Kilbrew, and Rashad Bobbin. The long course starting DBs was Terrell Brown, Cedric Griffin, Michael Griffin, and Michael Huff. Another fun fact,
Damn.
Texas also had Colt McCoy on the team.
Griffin
but
and
he didn't
Michael
play. The
backfield
Texas
in this
defense
bit,
only allowed 16
secondary.
points per game, while the offense scored 50 points per game. And of course, both teams were led by 2 really great coaches, USC head coach being Pete Carroll, and Texas head coach being Mack Brown. And it's easy for me to just jump to the Rose Bowl and get to the game, but both teams almost lost early in the season.
A word?
Texas, that loss almost came in week 2 against number 4 ranked Ohio State. Texas jumped out to a 10-0 lead against Ohio State, but then Ohio State responded and outscored them 22-6. And with just under 3 minutes to go, Texas would score a touchdown and they would take the lead 24-22. Texas would survive the last 2.5 minutes and pull out the win. For USC, their close matchup came in week 6 against Notre Dame. This game is more remembered for one play
Oh,
than
yeah.
the entire game. That play being named the Bush Push. See, what had happened was USC.
And then the
was down
Eagles turned it
31-28
into the tush push.
with about 7 or 8 seconds left. USC was on the goal line. All they had was a couple more inches to go, and if they scored a touchdown, of course they win. If they don't, well, then we might not have been talking about this game right now. So the
Facts.
ball snapped. Liner looks like he's going to get stopped short of the touchdown, and the game's going to be over, but Reggie Bush pushed him into the end zone
That
for
was-
USC to win.
that was an IQ
Controversy
play
about
right
this
there,
play
bro.
Was that it wasn't legal, as you couldn't assist a player by pushing him in forward progress. But this play is hardly called a flag in football, so it was allowed in this game. After both of these teams had close
As you
calls,
should.
they blew out everybody else in their way. After December 3rd, the matchup was set. You had number 1 USC versus number 2 Texas. To make this game even more enticing, you had Reggie Bush winning the Heisman Trophy.
Reggie Bush.
Now, to this day, some people still have discussions about who should have won this Heisman Trophy. Some people think Vince Young, some people think Reggie Bush. Let me know down in the comments.
Didn't they just give him his Heisman Trophy back too? Like not too long ago?
Now, I don't know if anybody knows this, but USC was ranked number 1 throughout the whole season heading into this matchup.
Okay.
Texas was ranked number 2 throughout the whole season heading into this matchup. And both
Damn.
of these are by the AP poll. So this was truly a matchup between two Goliaths. The build up to this game added on to the greatness of the game. First off, you had Reggie Bush, of course, winning the Heisman over Vince Young. This was the first time both teams were ranked number 1 and number 2 throughout the whole season and ended up playing each other in a national title game. And since Reggie Bush won the Heisman, this was going to be the first time in Rose Bowl history where 2 Heisman winners shared their backfield in this bowl game.
Oh,
Win
shit.
streaks are also important going into this game as these teams combined for a 53-game win streak. The last time USC lost before this game was in 2003, so they were on a 34-game win streak. And Texas was on a 19-game win streak. The last time they lost was October 9th of 2004. Also, ESPN was having segments about USC possibly beating NFL teams. And the last nugget to add on to the greatness of this game was that this was going to be Keith Jackson's last call game. And if you don't know who Keith Jackson is, he's one of the most legendary commentators in college football history.
Okay.
And he coined the nickname the granddaddy of them all for the Rose Bowl.
Oh, shit. Okay, okay.
And most of America had USC.
Shout out to him.
And it made sense. They had 2 Heisman Trophy winners. They
Keith
had
Jackson.
2,000-yard rushers. They had the better receivers. They had a stacked defense. I mean, USC was just media.
Snoop Dogg. Bro, I would never thought in a million years I would see this picture, bro. This shit looks like it's Photoshop, not gonna lie. Snoop Dogg and Pete Carroll in the same picture, nigga.
And Kirk Herbstreit both said that they were the second best team of all time in the BCS era.
Okay.
Another fun fact, one of the only
look at that young Kirk Herbstreit.
Texas at this time was Lee Corso. So really, it was very few people around America that believed Texas could really pull off this upset against USC.
Okay.
College football is in assembly at the Rose Bowl 2006.
Now, the game started out like a college football game. USC was forced to a 3-and-out, and on a punt, Texas fumbled, and USC recovered it. And a couple plays after the
what the fuck is this nigga did a front flip?
Texas fumbled, and USC recovered it.
They came in a front flipping them motherfucker.
Lindell White would punch it in for 6.
Okay.
On Texas' first drive of the game, they would get stopped.
The hell is this?
Giving the ball back to
Green
USC
shot
in good field position once again. USC could not capitalize though, as they were stopped on 4th and 1, just like Texas was. USC would get the ball back though, and it looked like they could have went up 14-0. Reggie Bush made a couple defenders miss on a short pass, but then he pitched the ball back to a USC player, and the USC player didn't get it, so it ended up being a fumble recovered by Texas.
Wow.
After this, Texas would go on to score 16 unanswered points, and then they took a lead into halftime 16-10. On USC's first possession after halftime, they would score a touchdown, taking the lead 17-16. On Texas' possession after that, Vince Young would call his own number and score a touchdown, giving Texas the lead again. Not too long after that, USC would score another touchdown as Lindell White would punch it in for his 3rd touchdown of the game.
The high step
I don't
is
know
crazy.
if it's really talked about, but if USC wins this game, then Lindell White probably gets Rose Bowl game MVP. After Texas missed a field goal, USC would make another drive and they would score another touchdown, this time being Reggie Bush.
Reggie
Texas would
Bush.
get a field goal to score a 26-point, but the only problem is USC would score another touchdown on the following possession, and now Texas is in a position to where they have to score points. Texas would do just that, as once again
Vince Young
number on a scramble.
Why'd I say it like that, bro?
For 6. Now this game would come down to one play, as it was 4th and 1 with 2:13 left to go. If USC gets this first down, then the game is over. If Texas stops them, then they keep hope alive, and all they gotta do is score a touchdown to take the lead.
Power back. He gets it.
Wow.
So Texas stopped them, and now they got the ball back. All they need is a touchdown to win the game. And it looked like Texas was going to have to convert like a 4th and 2 or 4th and 3, but Darnell Bean got caught for a face mask, and it gave Texas a first down.
Oh,
Texas would then
shit.
go on again a couple first downs, and then the game will come down to one play with 26 seconds left.
4th and 5. Vince Young taking off. Vince Young to the crib.
USC would have 16 seconds to answer, and they couldn't, so Texas put out the win. This would
Wow.
mark Texas' 800 win in program history.
Oh
This
shit.
is also Mac Brown's one and only national championship win.
Damn.
Vince Young won Rose Bowl MVP, accounting for 467 yards and 3 touchdowns for Texas. After the game, Pete Carroll said about Vince Young's performance that it was the greatest performance he's ever seen by any one guy. A total of 49 players that played in this game went on to play in the NFL. 15 of those 49 were drafted in the 06 draft.
Oh,
And
shit.
This win by Texas ended USC's chance to become a dynasty. And this game had everything you wanted. It had great players like 2 Heisman Trophy winners. It had Vince Young, a really great college quarterback. It had 2 really good coaches. And not only that, it had a great build up to this game. But that'll be all for this video. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.
Hey man, W video. I want to know what you guys think though down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on post notifications, get notified whenever I drop another banger video. We're on the road to 400 subs and we get it for more banger NFL reaction like this. Without further ado, I'm out. Gang!